Okay, Pastor Matt, what advice do you have for how to teach your kids about drugs today?
Whoa.
Drugs seem more accessible than ever, even through social media, and the chances of them getting addicted and ruining their lives or even overdosing seem so high. How do we teach our kids wisdom on this issue?
Yeah, thank you for such a great question. And I do agree. I think that not only are drugs more accessible, but there's more permission in our society to use them. They're just kind of, accepted. My favorite podcast is the Joe Rogan podcast, and he just talks openly, freely about doing drugs. He does drugs on the podcast. And it makes me so sad because no one believes that drugs are good for your brain. And
Right.
so, there are some people, I do have a friend that smokes marijuana, and he's done so really just because no current drugs from the hospital have helped him with his pain. And it's something that we've talked about, prayed about, and it's something that he has to utilize. But he understands, right, with every drug, there's a cost. There's a side effect to everything, whether, it's organic or not. We always throw organic like, it's fine, man. Look, I think arsenic is organic. You don't want to take it. I mean, poisons and toxins and many things that are unhealthy for us grow natural. Poison oak is organic. You don't rub your body in it. So we got to be careful that we don't do that. And so the first thing I would say is talk to your kids about how they're feeling and talk to your kids about social and peer pressure and understand and just be honest. Most of us as Christians use two drugs every day, caffeine and sugar. So this year for January, I didn't tell you this, I decided to go sugar-free. Let me tell you something. If you don't think you're a drug addict, cut sugar out of your life. I was having dreams and thoughts every day, all day. And I'm not a big
dancing cookies.
Yeah, I'm not hostess ho-host. I'm not a big sugar guy. Most people would say, well, you really don't eat it, but it's in our food. It's in everything that we do. And so when you eliminate that for 3 days, all I thought about was sugar, wanting it, thinking about it, dreaming about it, trying to make excuses for how I could get it. And so it was extraordinarily difficult. My son's birthday was January 4th. My wife made a beautiful cake. My daughter's birthday was January 6th. And I'm like, maybe January isn't the month to give up sugar. But all kinds of things have holds on us. And so I think the most important thing is to be honest with your kids about the fact that life is addictive, or things in life are addictive because life is hard. And so we're all trying to cover things and mask things because we're not honest and open about them with God. And so just be honest about that. And teenage years are extraordinarily difficult. I would never want to do that again. It's so hard. And you don't have oftentimes the strength to stand on your own and say, no, I don't want that. I do have some good news for parents. Young people, for whatever reason, are saying no to alcohol in ways that we've never seen as a culture. This is a big problem for Budweiser, for many of these hard liquor companies. Their sales are dropping. So that's good news because kids, for whatever reason, are not turning to it like in our generation. In our generation, we smuggled it, we stole it, we, bribed somebody to buy it for us. And kids nowadays are not doing that. And that's great news. I think the sad news is maybe they're turning to marijuana and some mushrooms and some other things. And so here's the thing, be honest with your kids about drugs. Every drug has a side effect. Just have them watch the commercials on TV. Side effect is rash, diarrhea, crazy thoughts.
You might die.
Oily discharge, right? I mean, it's all right there. And I'm like, when you watch those, I'm like, I don't want to take that. I think I'll just go with the shingles, So all of these drugs do one thing. And so here's the thing with drugs and alcohol. There's an initial help, and then your brain and your body tries to counteract. So think of your body like a swimming pool where you're putting chemicals into it, and then your body is trying to level those chemicals. So if I put something in my body that raises dopamine level, my body's going to go, oh, we have to lower it. So then the next day you're more depressed, you're more anxious. And I found this with Xanax. So I really battled with anxiety, and so the doctor prescribed Xanax. I started getting worse panic attacks, more anxiety. So I had an initial benefit, take the Xanax. Oh, I feel really relaxed. I could sleep. I was calm. And then the next day I was worse. And I went, okay, this is a problem. So what do most people do? They up the dosage.
They take more.
And then before you know it, you're Jordan Peterson, somebody I love. You're strapped to a bed in a Russian prison because your family is worried you're going to hurt yourself. And he was strapped to a bed for 3 months. And so the thing with all drugs is just be honest with your kids. They're really fun. There's a reason people like to drink. There's a reason people like to do drugs. They're really, really fun. The problem is they're fun for a moment, and then they're a burden for you and then for everyone who loves you.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
people who drink, they're a lot of fun to be around momentarily, and then they can't go to work, they can't get their things done, they can't do life. And, there's so many people in our church whose dads or moms were alcoholics. And then you don't have a dad, you don't have a mom, you have a drug addict. And it's so sad. It's why I'm so concerned about all these young people doing sex transitions. You now are a pincushion for the pharmaceutical companies for the rest of your life. And I was just talking with a good friend of mine, someone that I love very much, who's transitioned, and they're a mess.
Yeah.
They're worse. And they're just hoping that some new drug, and all of a sudden now you're trying to regulate not just feelings, but hormones. And it's crazy. And I don't have the relationship. This person's not a Christian where I can just say, look, man, you need God. I just have to love and listen and try to be there for him. But it's so sad because they just believe that the pharmaceutical companies are the answer. We've replaced God with science, and science is terrible, and the information is always changing. So I would just say, be honest with your kids and just say, it's going to be fun at first. But again, go back a couple weeks. That's why you watch Pinocchio. There's a price to pay. And the price is you become a slave. You become an ass. And again, sit down with them. That's when Disney used to be honest and Disney used to be real. And just say, it's going to be fun for a moment. But drugs and alcohol, lower your inhibitions, lower your ability to think, and lower your ability to make decisions. So you're more likely to become pregnant when you're drunk.
Yeah.
You're more likely to drive when you're drunk. You're more likely to make a mistake when you're drunk. You're more likely to do things when you're inebriated that you wouldn't normally do. And that's what I think people think, well, I would never do that. Yeah, when you're in your right mind.
Right.
But when you're drunk, when you're intoxicated, or you're just slightly buzzed, you're more prone to make a mistake and do something that has lifelong consequences. And again, I think the thing to communicate to young people is you're just really trying to help them not destroy their lives before it gets started.
Yeah.
And I think we're not honest at all. And that's the biggest problem with colleges. We're telling young people to, embrace all their inhibitions, just kind of throw out the conservative Christian, Judeo-Muslim, box, Jewish box, right? And just follow your feelings.
Yeah.
And the problem is, man, now there's just lifelong consequences because you were foolish.
Yeah.
And drugs, alcohol doesn't make anyone smarter. It might make you relaxed for a second, but you're going to be more anxious tomorrow. And we know this. And especially like with marijuana, so many kids today are told that it's not bad. Look, the statistics are out. Marijuana has an initial benefit, and then it has an extreme cost. So initially it relaxes you.
Right.
Then it will make you anxious. Initially it lets you sleep. Guess what? Then you can't sleep.
Right.
And so there's all of these problems on the other end that nobody talks about, and it's suppressed in the media, and it's all fun. And then you're paranoid.
Yeah.
Then you're ridiculous. And here's the thing. If you have any family history of mental illness, just be honest with your kids. You don't want to tamper with your brain because we have this that runs in our family. And just be honest about it, about your aunt, your uncle, your brother, your sister. We all have people in our family that really, really struggle.
Yeah.
And drugs seem to open the door. If there's any chance of mental illness, it seems to, the research shows, make it more likely.
Yeah. And for a developmental kid's brain that's developing at that time, adding something to the mix, right? A drug or a dependency. I mean, that sets them up again for failure, really, all the way up through their young adult years. I always tell kids, like, hey, the reason why we try certain things is because we don't see the consequences right away, right? If we smoked and our lung fell out the moment we took a puff, we wouldn't be doing that.
Right.
But for so many young people, they can't see these long-term consequences. They only see what's right in front of them. So I love, be very open and honest with your kids about this and say, hey, you may be confronted with this. Yeah.
And it's okay to be anxious.
Yeah.
It's okay to be afraid. We don't need to mask those feelings.
Right.
We need to deal with those feelings. And even some of the people in our church who I've seen as adults get addicted, you know what? It's okay to not sleep through the night. Don't turn to pills, because then all of a sudden, man, that runs down a road where all of a sudden now you're addicted, and you just have to be careful. And so, I have sleepless nights, and those tend to happen as you age. And I just have to tell myself, it's okay. It's okay. I'm going to get through this. I'm going to wake up tomorrow morning, and then I know that I'll be more tired tomorrow night, and I'll be able to sleep. And turn to some healthy things. Read a book, read your Bible, sit and meditate, go for a walk,
right?
Do some things. Don't sit at the TV. Don't feed your body full of a bunch of sugars and things that are going to make you not be able to rest. But just understand it's okay for life to not be okay. Turn to God, turn to friends, turn to some good things because, again, my Aunt Opal used to say this, this too shall pass. And I think that, we believe that the worst will last forever, and it just doesn't. The Lord's mercies are new every day.
Amen.
And so, I'm writing a book right now. My next book, it'll come out in February of 2024, and it's called Every Day a Miracle. And I was writing on the book of Lamentations. So do you know what a lament means in English?
Like a cry.
Right, a cry.
There's like a game you can play. Like, is it Taylor Swift or is it Lamentations?
Oh, okay, yeah.
And you like put it on the
so,
screen.
so the name of Lamentations in Hebrew is not Lamentations.
Oh, really?
It's how.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Right? How am I going to get through this? Isn't that incredible? And so we all have to deal with how. And so one of the things I talk in my book in this chapter, when God says no, is instead of asking why, ask how. And I think that's just God's God's mercy for us, is not why did this happen, but how am I going to get through this? And here's the thing is, drugs and alcohol are going to help you get to the next 30 minutes to an hour. They're not going to help you get through life.
Yeah.
And so you just got to know that. And there's nobody that I know who did drugs and their life is better. There's not one person that's more moral, more clear, more stable. And again, especially if you're a young man, what you need to provide for your family is stability and just being present and being safe. And I learned that very, very quickly from my wife, is that I need to be the stability in our family. That's my role as the man, is to be stable. And drugs and alcohol do not allow me to do that. So that's a great question.
So
and thank you so much. I'll be praying for all of our parents.
Hi, thank you so much for watching. If this material is helping you to further your authentic relationship with Jesus Christ, I want to encourage you to move from being someone who watches content to someone who participates and helps give towards this content. I want you to know that no amount is too small. Jesus Christ himself makes the biggest deal out of the smallest gift. And so whether that's $1 or $5 or $10, every dollar helps us in our mission to reaching the world with this vision of authenticity. So if God is prompting you, if the Holy Spirit is moving you towards generosity to Sandals Church, I want to encourage you to go to donate.sc. And here's all we ask. Give whatever God asks you to give, and we will just pray over that and ask God to bless that so that we can reach more people like you with this life-changing message.